First, this girl power purchasing. Millennial ladies are taking their avocado toast and Instagram posts all the way to the bank. New findings from Levo show that millennial women are a spending force to be reckoned with, representing a $170 billion market. We're talking about that right now with the Levo founder and CEO, Carolyn Ghosn, and Levo president, Alisa Leonard. Great to see you, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Important report, because we have been talking about millennials and the potential, what they represent in this overall economy. But this study really pinpoints dollars and cents, Caroline.
So what we wanted to highlight in this study in partnership with Merkle is the financial ascent of this demographic. Maria, you and I have talked about millennials and their domination on the talent side in the workforce, and this is all about their spending power on the consumer side. So the fact that millennial women are representing 85% of the $200 billion that millennials overall spend is absolutely astronomical.
Yeah,
and that's a force
numbers
to be contended with.
And Alisa, they're not just spending a lot of money, they're actually working and hustling.
Absolutely. So 42% of these millennial women are household breadwinners, and 40% have a side hustle. They have a side project that is enabling them to pursue their passion and also generate extra income.
What's the impact here?
Brands need to really contend with this demographic, and they need to understand how to effectively position their products towards this demographic.
So chief earners, chief spendings, Levo found that 42% of millennials are the primary breadwinners, as you just said, Alisa. This is much different than we've seen in other generations. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Millennial women are the rising economic power. This is the generation and the cohort to pay attention to. And if you're a brand that wants to win with these women, it comes down to trust, transparency, diversity, authenticity. That's how you're going to win with this group.
So we were talking about the Journal article, and you said they got it right. The Journal find that millennials, men and women, are actually ditching drinking and comfort foods in favor of cleaner lives, more balanced diets. Tell us about that. Do you agree with that?
I personally embody a lot of what the article talked about. So we mentioned this morning. I stopped eating meat. I don't drink alcohol. I meditate every day.
Wow.
What we see here is a shift towards, in the same way as we've seen millennials shift towards their career purpose and align now their dollars with brands that align with their values, we're seeing millennials take a look inward. So what I found fascinating about that article is the natural evolution of this trend and its movement inward.
That's really interesting, because they're committed to hobbies and interests outside of work, according to the Journal, Alisa, right? And they're learning to knit, for example, and crochet at twice the rate of an older generation.
Absolutely. This is the conscious consumer generation, and they're conscious about their work, the activities they pursue. 72% of millennial women prioritize spending money on experiences versus things.
Right.
And that's what makes them the happiest. So things like knitting, taking classes, personal growth and development. We see that again in their careers. They prioritize growth and development, as well as, you know, what they're spending their money on.
Or meditating. Like you said, you meditate every day. The Journal says that the millennial group is meditating 3 times a day.
Wow, I have a bar that I need to meet now, Maria.
So tell me what they're spending their money on largely then, from your study.
Absolutely. So to Alisa's point, the money that they're spending on their experiences is actually making them happiest, which was a big surprising component of this study. Another thing that we're finding interesting is that 62% of millennials will purchase something that has been recommended on social media by an influencer who they trust. So what we're finding is that building that network of trusted experts and building that network of people who these millennials look up to is really important for brands, because they're willing to experiment if they trust the person who is showing them the product on social.
Yeah, they also want more of a work-life balance, right?
Absolutely, yes. And we think of it as like work-life blurring. There's not a whole lot of balance generally, but we can do more to, it's blurring and finding that harmony between career and life. And I think, again, that's why we see them, you know, spending more of their hard-earned cash on experiences, on personal growth and development, and on brands that reflect their values. 57% of millennial women said, you know, how a brand values things like sustainability or diversity impacts my purchase decision.
Are they investing?
Well, that's a whole other conversation that we'll have to have. So actually our next study is going to be specifically focused on millennial women and investing and the financial decisions that they make. And we're testing a few hypotheses around their level of investing, because what we're finding is that they're not necessarily investing in the same way as their male counterparts.
Right, sure. In terms of where this is going, I mean, brands that are actually recognizing this, what's resonating with this generation in terms of brands and companies?
So what we're seeing is that impact-oriented brands who are able to align their company with social values that matter to millennials are really winning. It's a difficult time right now, I'd say, to be a CMO with this demographic. It's not an easy job, especially right now, because you basically need to be really, really vocal about the stories that you're telling and about what your brand stands for, and the bar has risen on communication.
All right, we'll keep watching Levo to find out more. Caroline, Alisa, great to see you both.